things that's been incredibly thrilling for us is I think all of us strive for relevance or work that matters. And for us, this has been a really amazing experience. And I will walk you through some of the images that have been important to us. And the first image is really one of the most overused in the environmental movement. But it actually had a huge impact on me growing up. I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. And I grew up with this think globally, act locally, as something that was meaningful. It had something that was a part of who you were somehow. And just recently I found out that this was actually coined by Rene Deveau in 1972 when he was the advisor to the UN Conference on the Environment. So this thing was always kind of in the back of my mind. And frankly, I was, like many architects, very self-involved and egocentric, and I wanted my work to be important or different somehow. I wanted it to matter in some way. And after working with Bob for several years at Fox & Powell, I started my own firm, and we started working on a project in East Hampton called the Center for Wellbeing. And we were exploring some very interesting issues that had to do with training global citizens and environmental responsibility. The building was heated and cooled by geothermal, rapidly renewable resources, a lot of use of bamboo. But what really broke through there was another idea about how you trained global citizens. You took your shoes off when you came in. All of the food was organic. You scraped your plate. There were no throwaway utensils. And there was this idea about a way to train American students to think about the world universally. But the truth was, it was still just a way to talk about architecture. Like, gee, our architecture is kind of cool, and this is why it's cool. It didn't really hit home, and frankly, it didn't really matter to me until it actually hit home. And what do people really care about? What really matters to them? And for most of us, it's our family. And I had an experience to travel to Phnom Penh. Ellen and I adopted twin boys through an organization called Hope for Children. And this is actually a photo out of the bus. These little Western-style buildings in the background are actually orphanage, and we're on our way to the orphanage here. I had this image about the developing nations as being these just incredibly closely tied to an agricultural environmental tie, that there's air-cooled primitive huts collecting rainwater. And much of that was really true. This is the Phnom Penh SUV, and this is not like one thing out of the window, but it was this experience of the entire family traveling on these 50cc scooters. What we found out, though, was that the reality was really quite different. Choking congestion. This is the view out the exact opposite side of the bus. And I thought these two images were interesting. On the one hand, we have this remarkable beauty and this incredible Khmer culture. And on the other side, choking congestion, gasoline, unrefined gasoline sold out of recycled Pepsi bottles. And it brings up so many issues. It brings up the issues of the rapid urbanization of our planet. China now has an urbanization rate of 15 million people annually. That's 15 million people moving from the countryside to the city. And what do they want?